I'm Lena. I'm 28 years old, and my family expected me to step aside from a luxury vacation I paid for so my sister's new boyfriend could take my place. They treated me like a walking bank account, like an extra character in their story. They assumed I'd do what I always did: smile, swallow the hurt, and be the bigger person. What they didn't realize was something important. The bigger person had finally stopped shrinking, and the moment I walked away, their entire vacation collapsed. But to understand how we got there, you need to understand my family. In my family, there's an invisible rule book everyone follows. Rule number 1, Chloe comes first. My younger sister, Chloe, is the center of the universe. My parents orbit around her like loyal planets. And me, I've always been the distant satellite, useful, dependable, but never the focus. Chloe is 25, a freelance artist with big dreams and unpredictable finances. My parents adore her free spirit. I'm the opposite. I'm a software engineer. I plan things, I save money. My life runs on logic, and somehow that made me the family safety net. The pattern started early. When I was 10, I begged for one thing for my birthday: a telescope. I loved space and had spent months saving allowance money toward it. My parents promised they'd take care of the rest. And they did. That morning, I opened the biggest box I'd ever seen. Inside was the most beautiful telescope. I was ecstatic until that afternoon. Chloe fell off her bike and scraped her knee. It needed nothing more than a cartoon bandage, but she cried like the world had ended. That evening, my dad sat beside me. He said Chloe had always loved the moon. Would I be willing, just to keep the peace, to let the telescope be her gift instead? I was 10. And that was the day I learned something important. My happiness was negotiable. Chloe's sadness was an emergency. Years later, the pattern continued. When I graduated college with an engineering degree, my parents promised a big celebration. The week before the party, Chloe got accepted into a 3-week pottery workshop. The first day of that workshop was the same day as my party, so my parents canceled it. They said helping Chloe move was more important. I celebrated 4 years of hard work with 2 friends and a dorm room pizza. And financially, the rules were different too. I paid for my own car, my rent, my tuition. Meanwhile, Chloe's rent, insurance, phone bill, and art supplies were all covered by my parents. When she ran out of money, they helped. If I ever struggled, I got a lecture about budgeting. They called her a free spirit. They called me rigid. So when Chloe started dating Kevin 6 months ago, I wasn't surprised when my family adored him instantly. Kevin was an aspiring musician who worked part-time at a coffee shop. But he had charm. And most importantly, he adored Chloe, which meant he could do no wrong. Soon he was everywhere. Family dinners, weekend plans, holidays. And somehow I became the 5th wheel in my own family. That's when I decided to do something big. I planned a trip, not just any trip. A luxury mountain cabin called Serenity Peak, panoramic windows, a stone fireplace, private ski trails, a hot tub overlooking a snowy valley. It was breathtaking. It was also expensive. But I convinced myself it was worth it. I told myself this wasn't just a vacation. It was an investment in my family. So I booked the cabin for a full week. Then I invited my parents and Chloe to dinner and gave them the surprise. My mom gasped. My dad kept shaking his head in disbelief. Chloe grabbed my arm and squealed. "You're the best sister ever." For a moment, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time, appreciated, included. We spent the evening planning the trip. I had arranged everything. The cabin, the rental SUV, the ski passes. "All you have to do is pack," I told them. In the weeks before the trip, everyone was excited. My mom called to talk about hiking trails. My dad sent skiing videos. Chloe texted outfit ideas. For the first time in years, I believed things might change. Then 1 week before the trip, Chloe called. "Quick question," she said casually. "What's the food situation? Kevin's vegetarian." I paused. For Kevin, I asked. There was a tiny silence. Oh no, I just meant when we get back, she said quickly. I wanted to believe her, so I ignored the warning sign. The night before the trip, my mom sent a group text. Can't wait for our family adventure tomorrow. I went to bed smiling. The next morning, I arrived at my parents' house to pick everyone up, and the moment I walked into the living room, my smile disappeared. Kevin was sitting on the couch. His duffel bag was next to Chloe's. My parents looked uncomfortable. We need to talk, my dad said. My stomach dropped. Kevin is coming with us, Chloe said quietly. The cabin only sleeps 4, I said. My mom stepped forward. Well, that's the tricky part. My dad cleared his throat. Lena, you're independent. You have your own life. Chloe and Kevin shouldn't have to spend the week apart. The meaning of those words hit me like ice water. You're saying I can't go. Don't be dramatic, Chloe snapped. We'll bring you back a souvenir. A souvenir from the trip I paid for. My dad added gently, think of it as a gift to Chloe and Kevin. Something inside me went very still. I looked at all of them. My parents, my sister, Kevin silently benefiting from the situation. And suddenly everything became clear. The telescope. The canceled graduation party. Every moment I'd been expected to sacrifice. They didn't see my generosity as kindness. They saw it as a resource. I took a slow breath. Fine, I said. Relief flooded the room instantly. I knew you'd understand, my mom said. I picked up my suitcase, walked out the door, and drove away. They thought they had won. They had no idea the vacation was about to disappear. I parked at a quiet park and opened my phone. First, the SUV rental. My name was on the reservation, my credit card too. I called the rental company. Hi, I said calmly. I need to cancel my reservation. The agent confirmed it. Done. Next, the ski passes. 2 clicks. Refund requested. Then the cabin, the heart of the trip. I called the management company. I'm calling to cancel my reservation. The agent warned me the booking was non-refundable. I would lose the entire payment. I understand, I said. Please cancel it. A moment later, it was gone. 7 nights at Serenity Peak. Canceled. Then I asked one more question. If guests arrive without the person who made the reservation, can they check in? No, the agent said. The primary guest must be present. I thanked her and hung up. It was done. The entire vacation had vanished in 15 minutes. A few hours later, my phone buzzed. Dad, they say the car reservation is canceled. Call them. I didn't reply. Mom texted next. Please fix this. Those words had defined my role for years. Please fix this. But this time I didn't. More messages came. Chloe complaining about the cramped car. My dad demanding answers. I turned my phone to silent. Around 2:40 that afternoon, the calls started. They had arrived at the resort. Dad texted first. The cabin says our reservation is canceled. Mom followed. Why would you do this? Then Chloe. There are no cabins left. You ruined everything. Finally, a message from Kevin. This is insane. Call them and fix it. I listened to one voicemail from my father. His voice was furious. You embarrassed this family. I deleted it. They had written the story already. I was the villain, but something strange happened as I sat there. For the first time, their chaos didn't belong to me. Their problems weren't mine to solve. I blocked their numbers, one by one. The silence that followed was incredible. For 2 days, my apartment felt peaceful. No pressure, no expectations, just quiet. Then on the 3rd day, an email arrived from my mom. We need to talk. They had returned home after spending 2 nights in a cheap motel. I stared at the message for a long time. Then I unblocked her number. My phone rang almost immediately. Lena, my mom said, what you did was cruel. My dad's voice boomed in the background. You threw away thousands of dollars, Chloe added. Kevin thinks our family is crazy now. I listened quietly. The old version of me would have apologized, would have tried to fix everything. But that version of me was gone. When they finally stopped talking, I spoke, calmly. "I didn't ruin your vacation," I said. "You did." There was silence on the line. "You removed me from a trip I paid for," I continued. "So I removed the trip." No yelling. No crying. Just the truth. And for the first time in my life, I didn't feel small. I felt free. So I have to ask my community, was I wrong for canceling the trip and letting them face the consequences? Or was it the only way to finally make them understand? I feel at peace with my decision, but a small part of me still wonders. What would you have done? After listening to today's story, perhaps it has raised some new questions in your mind. Every day, new experiences and moments create fresh stories. We are all human. If you enjoyed this story, feel free to share it. Thank you for your time, and don't forget to keep an eye out for more stories coming soon.